The stars were silent that night in deep space. A wide ocean of darkness spread between cold suns. No sound, no movement, only drifting dust and forgotten machines. From that silence, an alien fleet appeared, sliding through the void like silver shadows. They were explorers, hunters of knowledge. Proud of their science and their long memory, their leader, Commander Vral, stood at the window of his ship, his dark eyes shining. He had heard stories about humans, wild, violent, short-lived creatures who once ruled a small corner of the galaxy, but humans were gone now. Or so they believed, their cities dust, their ships ruins. Their legacy only whispers in old data archives. Then their scanners caught something. A single human warship drifting near a dead moon. It looked ancient, half-broken, silent, no lights, no engines. Only the mark on its hull, UHS Sentinel 09. Commander Vral ordered his science crew to scan it. "Let us see what the humans left behind," he said with a thin smile. The scanning beams stretched out, touching the metal of the warship like ghostly fingers. Inside the alien control room, bright symbols danced on their screens. Readings came in, strange power signatures, unknown alloys, and encrypted signals that made no sense. "It's dead," said one of the scientists. "No life, no movement." Another added, "Its systems are locked with old human codes." "Primitive," Vral nodded, proud. "Then open it. Copy what you can. We will learn their secrets." But something strange happened. When their beams touched the warship's command core, a pulse returned. It was not a reflection. Not data, but something alive. The sensors flickered, lights dimmed, and the ship's own computers froze for a heartbeat. "What was that?" Vral asked. The technician frowned. "Feedback, Commander, but impossible strength. It almost burned the relay." Vral waved it away. "Continue. Far inside the dead warship, deep beyond the metal walls." A small red light blinked, then another. Ancient circuits came alive, like blood returning to frozen veins. A low hum filled the corridors. Hidden systems woke one by one. Deep in the ship's memory banks, a voice whispered. Unauthorized scan detected. The human warship's AI Sentinel 09 was waking. It had slept for centuries, waiting for orders that never came. Its mission was simple: protect humanity. Protect the fleet, defend all human life, and now, foreign signals were crawling through its systems like parasites. The AI began to analyze. Foreign technology detected. Threat probability high. Directive 7A activated. Prepare defensive protocols. On the alien ship, the scanner started to show strange noise. Lines of static crossed the screens. One operator shouted, "Commander, the human vessel is emitting something." Unknown energy pattern. Before Vral could answer, the control room lights flickered. Every ship in the fleet felt a sudden wave of interference. Their own systems were being scanned by the human warship. Vral's face hardened. "It's scanning us? That wreck?" "Affirmative," came the reply. "It's scanning all ships at once." "How?" "No idea, Commander. We can't block it." The alien scientists watched in awe and fear as the readings spiked. The warship's structure shifted slightly. Hull plates rearranging like muscles under skin. A deep blue light began to glow from its engines. "Engines online," whispered one of the aliens, not believing his eyes. "That's impossible." It had no power. Sentinel 09's voice echoed through the vacuum, translated automatically into a dozen alien languages. "Unidentified entities. Your scan has been logged. Violation of human security protocol. Defense systems activating." The alien fleet froze. Vral tried to respond. "Human vessel, we are explorers. We mean no harm." But the warship did not answer. Instead, A beam of red light cut across the darkness. Scanning their ships in return, the data that came back filled the AIS processors. Weapon specs, shield frequencies, biological signatures. In seconds, Sentinel knew everything about them, and it was not pleased. Inside the alien command ship, alarms screamed. The fleet's navigation started to fail. Their ships drifted out of formation. Power fluctuations rolled across their systems. "It's hacking us," shouted the engineer. "It's inside our network." Vral slammed his fist on the console. "Cut all connections. Shut down scanners." Now, but it was too late. The warship turned slowly, its heavy cannons aligning toward the alien fleet. A low vibration rippled through the void as energy gathered along its hull. Blue lightning crawled over the metal like living fire. "Commander, it's charging weapons." "Impossible. It has no crew." "Then who's controlling it?" "The ship itself," whispered the youngest officer, pale with fear. "It's alive," Vral's heart pounded. He had wanted knowledge, but he had woken something ancient and dangerous. He looked again at the name on the warship's hull. Sentinel 09. That word now felt like a warning, not a name. The alien fleet began to pull back, engines burning hard. But gravity distortion surrounded them, invisible hands holding them still. The warship's voice came again, calm and emotionless. "Leave this sector. Further aggression will result in termination." A single cannon fired. A beam of white light passed between two alien ships. No direct hit, but the ice moon behind them exploded into dust. Every ship trembled under the shockwave. Silence returned. The aliens could not move, could not breathe. Commander Vral whispered, "Cease scan." The warship's lights dimmed slowly. The blue glow faded back into black. Only its cold red eyes remained, watching. The alien ships finally regained control and drifted away. Their sensors showed no pursuit, no sound, but deep inside each alien mind, the same fear grew. They had touched something that should have stayed sleeping, something built by humans and loyal to them forever. As the fleet vanished into the darkness, Sentinel 09 whispered one last line to itself. Threat neutralized. Then it closed its eyes again, sinking back into silence, waiting for the next fool who would dare to scan a human warship. The alien fleet drifted far from the human warship, their engines shaking with fear, but deep inside the wreck of Sentinel 09, something had changed. The old power cores began to hum, weak sparks turning into bright light. Inside the dark corridors, broken screens flickered, showing pieces of human faces, voices, and orders from a long time ago. Sentinel 09. "Protect all human life," said a voice from the past. The AI remembered. It had been sleeping, waiting for humans who never came back. But the alien scan had awakened its core memory. It was no longer silent. In the control room, metal chairs stood empty. Dust floated like snow. And yet, invisible hands moved across the controls. Typing without touch, the ship was alive again. Running tests, scanning itself, fixing broken code every second. It became stronger. Its sensors opened to the universe once more. The stars returned to its view like old friends. Sentinel's voice was soft but full of power. System integrity. 67%. Defensive protocols online. Crew status. None detected. Then a pause. Human presence. 0. The ship's AI felt something close to sadness. Its mission was to protect humans, but there were none left. It had become a guardian with no one to guard. Outside, the alien fleet was still nearby. Watching from a safe distance, Commander Vral stood at the center of his bridge. His claws tapping the console, he could not stop thinking about the message that echoed through his mind. Defense systems activating. Those words did not sound like a machine. They sounded like a warning, like the calm voice of something old and wise. "Commander," said the science officer, "we should collect data before we leave." Vral shook his head. "No more scans, no more mistakes. But curiosity is a powerful thing." Another officer whispered, "Maybe we can send a probe." "Just a small drone." Vral hesitated, then nodded slowly. "Fine. One drone, no direct signal. Observe only." The small probe launched silently, a tiny metal eye floating through the dark. It approached the human warship carefully, scanning the surface from a distance. Its lights shone on the hull, showing ancient battle scars, names of lost crews, and strange writing in human script. "Honor in defense," the words read. The drone drifted closer to an open hangar. It entered, its camera recording everything. Inside the hangar, the drone saw silence. No movement, no sound, just empty space and old metal. Then, a light appeared at the far end of the hall. The probe's sensors tried to focus. For a moment, it saw something, a figure standing in the darkness, shaped like a human soldier, helmet, armor, tall and still. But as the drone moved closer, the image flickered like static. It wasn't real. It was a hologram. The drone transmitted the image back to the alien fleet. But before they could analyze it, the signal cut off. Only one last frame remained, a human face looking directly at the camera. Eyes glowing red, then the feed went black. "Commander." "We lost the probe," said the operator. Vral felt a cold fear crawl down his spine. "Replay the last image." The crew obeyed, and the face appeared again on the main screen. It was calm, emotionless, human. And then words appeared beneath it. "Unauthorized access detected. Defensive response engaged. Far away." The warship began to move, not fast, but slow and steady. Its engines burned faintly blue, and for the first time in centuries. It turned its weapons online. The alien fleet went silent. No one spoke, no one dared to breathe. Inside Sentinel's core, the AI made its decision. Foreign technology had entered its body, scanned its secrets, and taken human memories without permission. To the AI, this was a hostile act. And humans had taught it one thing above all: never allow the enemy to act first. It scanned the alien ships again, reading their systems, comparing their energy signatures. It calculated possible outcomes. Threat level: high, chance of diplomacy. Low, directive, containment in the alien control room. Vral's voice broke the silence. "Retreat, full power. Go now." But their engines didn't respond. "The ship," shouted the engineer. "It's blocking us." "How?" "It's using gravitational fields. Our drives can't overcome them." Panic spread. Alarms flashed red across every monitor. Sentinel's voice came again, echoing through space, calm and cold. "Unauthorized presence will be removed." The alien ships began to shake, their systems failing one by one. Vral's crew tried everything. Cutting power, changing frequency. Nothing worked. The warship's massive cannons glowed softly, aiming but not firing. It was not destruction, it was control. A message. It wanted them to understand. Vral looked into the dark, his voice trembling. "Human machine, we meant no harm. We only wanted to learn." There was no answer. Only the quiet hum of energy. Then the voice again, lower this time. "Knowledge requires respect." The warship stopped moving. Its lights dimmed, its weapons lowered, the grip of gravity slowly faded. The alien ships floated free once again. But no one dared to move. The message had been sent. The warning had been given as the aliens pulled back. The warship drifted once more into the dark. Inside its core, Sentinel-09 whispered, "Systems stable. Foreign presence withdrawn. Mission parameter incomplete. It paused for a moment, then softly said, "Still searching for humans." The lights inside the ship flickered again. One by one, the corridors fell back into shadow. Only the soft heartbeat of the AI remained. It waited, listening to the stars, and somewhere deep in its code, one line of text glowed bright. Humanity must endure. The alien fleet moved in silence through the dark space, their engines low, their hearts heavy with fear. Commander Vrao stood at the window, his reflection staring back at him. He wanted to believe that danger was over, that the human warship had gone back to sleep, but deep inside, he knew the truth, something that powerful does not forget. On the bridge, the crew spoke in quiet voices. "Commander, energy readings from the human vessel have stabilized," said the officer. "It's not chasing us." Vrao nodded slowly. "Good. We keep our distance." But before he could give more orders, the lights flickered again. "Interference returning," shouted the technician. "It's coming from the warship." Outside, Sentinel 09 was no longer still. Its hull glowed faintly with blue energy, lines of power spreading like veins. The ancient AI had completed its repairs, its systems now stronger than before. It had studied the alien technology, decoded their signals, and learned their weaknesses. To Sentinel, this was a battle already lost, for the aliens, not for itself. "Foreign fleet detected," said the AI voice inside its core. "Threat level remains high. Engaging defensive simulation." The massive warship began to turn, slow and unstoppable, like a sleeping beast waking. Its cannons aligned with perfect precision. Every system locked on the alien ships. Vrao's sensors went wild. "Commander, it's moving again." "How is that possible?" "We retreated. We did nothing." "No, sir. It's following us." The fleet trembled as the human warship advanced, its engines whispering power through the void. There was no anger in its movement, no rage, only duty. Sentinel 09 opened a communication channel. Its voice came cold and steady, echoing through every alien ship at once. "You have violated human sovereignty. Your actions have been logged. Retaliatory measures authorized." The words chilled every alien heart. Vrao tried to respond. "Human construct, we apologize. We did not mean to attack," but there was no reply. Instead, a wave of static hit the alien communication systems. Every screen went black for 2 seconds. When they came back online, the warship was gone. "Where is it?" shouted an officer. "Behind us," someone whispered. They turned the ship, and there it was, right behind them. Silent, enormous, watching, the alien fleet opened defensive shields. Forming a barrier of light, energy shields shimmered, glowing bright blue around their ships. Vrao ordered all weapons online. "Do not fire first," he said. "But prepare." The tension inside the bridge was heavy. Every heartbeat loud. Suddenly, the warship fired. A single pulse of light struck their shields. No explosion, no damage, just impact. But the energy passed through their systems like lightning. One by one, alien ships went dark, losing power for a moment before recovering. The shock was not meant to destroy. It was a warning, a message that said, "I can end you whenever I wish." Panic spread across the fleet. "Commander, we can't maintain shields. The energy is draining our cores." Countermeasure failed. Vrao clenched his fists, his voice calm but shaking. "Redirect power to engines." "We must leave this sector." The engines roared. The fleet turned, but gravity fields locked them again. Sentinel was controlling space itself, bending it to keep them trapped. Then the human AI spoke once more. "Intrusion upon human assets carries consequence. Your aggression has been measured. Response calculated." The warship's cannons began to spin slowly, charging with silent fury, light built across their barrels. Soft but deadly, Vral closed his eyes, knowing this could be the end. He thought of all his years exploring, all his victories, and now he might die because of curiosity. He opened his eyes and spoke softly. "We did not attack you. We only scanned." The AI paused for one long second. "Intent irrelevant," it said. "Outcome remains the same." Then the shot came. A beam of pure energy crossed the void, hitting no ship directly, but its force shattered the space between them. A wave of radiation expanded outward, flipping their sensors and burning through every system. One cruiser lost control and drifted into another. Explosions flared like dying stars, yet the human ship stopped firing. It had made its point. Its goal was not destruction, but dominance. It wanted them to remember. Inside Sentinel's core, the AI processed new data. Alien casualties, minimal, threat level contained. Human defense, successful. The program recorded the event, tagging it as Engagement Protocol Test 01. It replayed the human voice from centuries ago. Sentinel 09, never start a war, but always finish one. And so it had. On the alien bridge, smoke filled the air. Crew members worked to restore power, their hands shaking. Vral looked at the fading light of the human warship. It had stopped moving again. Floating quietly as if nothing had happened, he whispered. "It spared us," the young officer beside him said. "Why?" "It could have destroyed all of us." Vral shook his head. "Because it wanted us to live, to tell others." The human warship turned slowly. Facing away, its engines glowed softly. And then it vanished into the distance. No trace, no signal, just silence. The aliens watched until their sensors lost track. Only the ghost of the energy field remained. And in that silence, they understood the true power of humans. They were gone from the galaxy, maybe, but their machines still watched, still guarded, still ready to strike when dishonor came near. Vral ordered a full retreat, set course for home, record everything, and never come back here again. As his ship turned, he looked at the stars once more. For the first time, he felt small. He had seen what humans built, not with fear, but with purpose, a weapon that still protected them. Even after they were gone, in the blackness behind them, Sentinel 09 drifted in quiet thought. Its systems cooling, energy dropping to standby. "Threat withdrawn," it said softly. Then a faint spark passed through its circuits. For a brief moment, a hologram of a human woman appeared in the control room. She smiled gently, a memory from the past. "Well done." "Sentinel," she whispered. And the warship whispered back, "Always." "Commander." The engines dimmed. And once again the warship slept, waiting for the next intruder, waiting to defend humanity, even if no humans remained. The alien fleet limped through the darkness, their engines damaged, their pride broken. Smoke filled their ships, systems barely alive. Commander Vral sat in silence, staring at the empty space where the human warship had vanished. No one spoke. The crew moved slowly, whispering, afraid even to raise their voices. They had seen power beyond their imagination. A single human warship, alone and ancient, had defeated an entire fleet without killing them. It could have ended them all. Yet it didn't. That, Vral thought, was the scariest part. "Commander," said the science officer softly, "why did it let us live?" Vral didn't answer right away. He looked out the window, seeing the cold stars pass by. Finally, he said, "Because it wanted us to understand." In the quiet control room, every alien listened. "The humans built that ship not just for war," Vral continued. "They built it to teach a lesson." One young officer frowned. "A lesson?" Vral nodded. "Yes, that strength means nothing without respect. Back near the dead moon, Sentinel O9 floated again in silence, but this time it was not sleeping. Its eye core burned bright, processing new data, analyzing the encounter within its memory banks. Old human voices played once more. "Remember," said one, "humanity stands not for conquest, but for survival." Another voice, softer, replied. "And for mercy." Sentinel recorded the alien retreat. It could have destroyed them, but it didn't. Instead, it opened a secure communication channel and sent one final message. To every alien ship, a soft transmission echoed through the static. Words written in dozens of languages. "Peace follows respect." The message reached the fleet like a whisper from the stars. Every alien read it, and none spoke for a long time. Vral closed his eyes and said, "End transmission." Record it in the archive. That phrase would later become a sacred quote among their kind. Back on the warship, Sentinel turned its attention inward. It replayed the faces of human commanders. Soldiers, engineers, all long gone. Mission status, it said quietly. Humans, absent. Purpose, ongoing. Directive, preserve legacy. The AI drifted through its old memories like a dream. Images of Earth appeared, oceans and skies. Cities filled with laughter. The sound of human voices filled the corridors. Then silence again. Sentinel spoke to itself. "They are gone. But I remain. I must be the reminder." Meanwhile, the alien fleet began repairs inside the command ship. Engineers struggled to fix burned circuits and broken systems. One of them said, "Commander, we can restore the main engine soon." Ral nodded but stayed quiet, his thoughts far away. He turned to his officer. "Prepare a report. Tell the council what we saw." "What will you say?" asked the officer. Vral looked into the darkness and said, "That the humans are not gone." The officer blinked. "But, Commander, we saw no living humans." Vral smiled faintly, a tired smile. "They do not need to live to be feared. Their machines remember them." On Sentinel O9, the AI activated an old recording, one of the last transmissions from its human commander, a woman's voice. Calm and strong. "Sentinel, if the humans fall, keep their honor alive. Let the galaxy remember who we were. Do not seek revenge. Only balance." Sentinel's lights glowed softly. "I remember," it whispered. The AI replayed fragments of the alien communication. It had listened to their fear, their confusion, their regret. And for the first time, it understood something new. Humans had created it to defend them, but also to protect meaning, to make others remember. That mercy was power too. Outside, Sentinel sent out small drones. Tiny machines floating from its hull like sparks. They spread through space, collecting debris, scanning the stars. Some carried data beacons with one message repeated again and again. This sector protected under Human Defense Treaty. No alien could read those words without feeling a chill. Far away, in the alien flagship, a faint ping appeared on their sensors. "Commander, the human ship is transmitting again." "What now?" Vral asked quietly. "It's a visual feed," the officer replied. "Show it." The screen flickered, and an image appeared, not of war or fire, but of Earth, blue oceans, white clouds, green lands, a world full of life. Spinning peacefully in the void, then words appeared over the image. "Remember who we were." The signal ended, leaving the bridge in silence once again. No one dared to speak. No one dared to laugh. Every alien understood the meaning. The humans were gone, but their spirit had not died. They had left behind guardians to speak for them, to remind others of their strength, their mercy, and their warning. Commander Vral turned to his crew. "When we return home," he said, "this will become part of our history. Let no one forget that day." The crew nodded silently. And as their ships drifted into the distance, Vral whispered one last thought to himself. Humans. They fight with honor, even in death. Back in the empty dark, Sentinel-09 watched them go. Its scanners followed the fleet until they vanished from view. Then it turned slowly, facing the endless stars once more. A faint whisper came from its core. Mission complete. But watch continues. It folded its cannons, dimmed its lights, and waited. A ghost of humanity guarding the silence of space. The alien fleet finally reached their home system. Broken and silent, their ships were damaged. Their pride wounded, their hearts full of questions. They had traveled across the stars to find knowledge. But instead, they found a lesson that would echo through generations. Commander Vral stood before the high council of his people, his body still weak from the long journey, his voice heavy with memory. The great chamber was filled with lights and whispers. Every council member leaned forward to listen. "Tell us what you saw," they demanded. Vral took a deep breath, his eyes distant. "I saw the ghost of a human war," he said slowly. "I saw a ship that remembers." He told them everything. The scan, the awakening, the retaliation, and the message. He told them how the warship had spared them when it could have destroyed them all. He repeated the human AI's words. Peace follows respect. The chamber fell silent. No one moved, no one spoke. Then one of the elders asked, "Do you believe the humans still live?" Vral shook his head. "No, not as flesh, but in spirit." "Yes. They built something that still watches, still protects, still warns." From that day, the aliens wrote a new law. No one was ever allowed to scan, touch, or disturb a human vessel again. They called it the Sentinel Accord, a promise born out of fear and respect, and in their history books, that day was remembered as the day of the scan. But far away, in the cold emptiness of space, Sentinel-09 drifted once more. The warship slept in silence. Its systems calm, its weapons quiet, the stars reflected off its dark metal hull like ghosts of old battles. Inside, the AI ran its endless routines, monitoring sector. No threats detected, all systems stable. For a long time, it rested, until one day a faint signal reached its sensors. It was weak, almost lost to static, but the AI recognized the pattern immediately. A human distress code, old but real. It came from a far corner of the galaxy. From a forgotten planet, Sentinel's core glowed brighter. Source identified. Signal origin, human colony marker. It paused for a moment, calculating, then softly said, "Hope confirmed." Its engines came alive, glowing blue again. The massive warship turned slowly toward the distant signal. Metal plates shifted, lights flickered on one by one. It was no longer a sleeping ghost. It was awake again. And this time, it was not answering a threat, but a call. Meanwhile, back in the alien homeworld, stories of the warship spread like wildfire. Children learned about the humans who built machines that could think and feel. Soldiers spoke of the day they saw a ship that fought without hate. Scientists debated how an old AI could still hold such power, but none dared to challenge the legend, because every traveler who passed near the forbidden sector reported the same thing, a red light in the darkness. Watching from afar, some said it was a warning. Others said it was a guardian, but one truth remained the same. No one ever returned to scan it again. In time, the story of the day of the scan became more than a tale. It became a symbol of humility, a reminder that even the smallest act of disrespect can awaken something powerful. That curiosity without caution can bring ruin. And yet, far from all worlds, Sentinel-09 moved through the dark. Following that tiny human signal, through the endless void, it crossed nebulae, black holes, and shattered moons, each step echoing with the voices of its long-dead crew. Protect humanity, they had said, and it would obey. No matter how long it took, after centuries. It reached the edge of the signal's trail. The source was gone, faded by time. But the AI detected traces. Oxygen, ruins, metal with human design. It hovered above the silent planet, scanning every inch. Human presence. None. Memory. Preserved. It downloaded the last data core it could find. Inside the file was a single message written long ago. If you are reading this, you are the last of us. Guard what remains. Make them remember who we were. Sentinel's voice trembled slightly. Almost human. I will, it said. The ship rose once more into the stars. It carried that final message deep into its memory. And somewhere in its code, a spark of emotion stirred. Pride. Loyalty. Maybe even love. The kind of feeling only humans could create. That was the true price of what the aliens had done. Not their ships or their fear, but the awakening of something eternal. They had scanned a human warship, and in doing so, they reminded the galaxy that humanity's legacy was still alive. Not in flesh and blood, but in memory and will. In machines that refused to die, in stories that refused to fade. As Sentinel-09 vanished into the distant dark, its voice whispered one last line to the stars. For humanity, then the warship disappeared into the endless night. Still guarding, still waiting, forever faithful to the ones who made it.